Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Austin. Hey, Zero. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it. If there got anybody else in here, if you want to give us a hello in the chat, that'd be great. Adjusting the camera. The camera's working today. If you watched the video yesterday, my webcam was apparently not working, but the audio is working. Hey, Nico, what's up? The audio apparently was moving my mouth, but the video wasn't recording. So Bear had like a straight face right on price action all day. No messing around. Just watching it. Hey, Dave, and good morning. Thanks for joining us. So I didn't realize that till the very end. It's kind of funny. Bear's just sitting there, all serious, only watching price move. Alrighty. Man, yesterday was a crazy day, huh? Who was here trading yesterday? Yesterday was all over the place. I didn't see. Hey, Zero, weekend was good. What did I do this last weekend? What is today? Wednesday? Oh, 4th of July. We just kind of hung around. We didn't have any real plans going on. Went and shot off some fireworks. Nothing major. Hope you guys had a good weekend. It was 4th of July here in the States. And it was a long weekend. Monday was a holiday. I got my video, I realized, on Friday wrong when I was trading. I made a video on Friday, and man, I was all confused. The whole weekend, I felt like Sunday was the 4th of July and Monday was the 5th, but that wasn't the case. Monday was the 4th of July. I don't know why in my brain I had that way, but well, futures markets were open. The stock market was not open on Monday. I don't know if anybody traded Monday. I did not. Let's look what we got going on. Should we jump into some price or not price action, some technical stuff? We do have some fundamental things going on. Hey, man, thanks for the buck. I appreciate it. Nico, you're the first one to ever use that feature, and I always felt I appreciate the dollar. Thank you. That really helps. It's such a nice gesture. Thank you. I enabled these chat features. One, I think you can do like emojis and things like that, but you can also leave like tips and stuff. I never wanted to ask for anything because I'm not, you don't want to seem like you're begging, for money, but it just shows some appreciation. If you got some value out of this, if you made some money off of a trade that we looked at, that's always a nice thing to do. So thank you so much. We do morning big DJ Once. Thanks, man. Thanks, Nico. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Okay. We got some fundamentals coming out today. Let's look at our economic calendar. We've got some ISM stuff. Let me just do the filter on this thing. Apply filter. All right. So we got some stuff. This is Central Time, U.S. Central Time. Let me pull up my pen. Which was where? There it is. We have ISM coming out at 9 o'clock. Okay, but the big one is going to be FOMC minutes at 1. Markets are, I think, acting a little wonky with this in mind, with the FOMC stuff coming out. So, just be mindful. 1 o'clock, we got that coming. So I probably wouldn't be trading after 10 o'clock today. I'd just be letting the market do what it wants to do. Hey, Vernon, good morning. Thanks for joining us. I wouldn't be trading too late, too close to this. You can maybe trade after this, like 2 to 3 o'clock might be, even before that, 1 o'clock, 1:30 Central Time again, guys, 1:30. After it comes out, let the market move around, see if it finds a direction after this stuff gets released. But, probably going to only try to find one or two trade setups this morning between 8:30 or like 8:45 and 10. And that would probably be it. I don't want to fly too close to the sun with this FOMC coming out at 1. We also, again, have ISM coming out at 9 o'clock a.m. Central Time. So you need to be mindful of that. If you click on one of these, it'll tell you what it is. Business conditions for non-manufacturing sector. So a high reading is seeing positive for the US dollar low. You got to remember that this is a Forex site. So sometimes things that are positive for the US dollar are not necessarily positive for financial markets. Inflation is one of those things. Raising interest rates is one of those things. When you raise interest rates, you're increasing the value of the dollar. That's why if you look at the DXY, the dollar index right now, it's through the flipping roof. It's just absolutely crushing other currencies because when we're raising interest rates, the dollar becomes more valuable to own because you can lend it for more money, for a higher interest rate. However, it makes the stock market less desirable when interest rates rise. So it has that inverse correlation to it. So when something on one of these Forex sites prints green, you want to be mindful of why it's printing green, A little sip of coffee there. Hope that wasn't too close to the microphone. Tomorrow we've got employment stuff coming out on Thursday. We've got initial jobless claims, a bunch of stuff coming out at 7:15, 7:30-ish pre-market. So we'll take a look at that tomorrow. I will be live streaming tomorrow as well. And then, of course, on Friday, we have big one, NFP, baby. NFP on Friday. So lots of stuff coming out in the next few days that I think will be market movers that we need to be aware of. Yeah, so today what we need to focus on, ISM at 9, you probably want to be flat. You want to be flat around 9 o'clock, and then tomorrow pre-market 7:30. It'll be good to get that stuff out of the way pre-market so we can trade. And then of course Friday NFP, which I think is really going to be a market mover on Friday because the market seems like it's trying to find a direction and it needs something to give it that direction. Let's look at technicals now. One other thing I'll look up real quick. Sometimes I just like to I like to just look and see what the headlines are, just to see if anything jumps out. Barclay, I'm out of my Netflix trade. I took a loss on that. That was a dud. S&P futures fall. I don't care what this says about S&P futures or futures contracts and stuff pre-market. I'm just seeing if there's any big mortgage demand sinks even as rates drop for the second week. That's kind of interesting, maybe. It kind of seems like that's just kind of a precursor, I think, for a recession, but we're not. We've been talking about that quite a bit, so. Recession stuff, recession talk. I'm kind of tired of talking recession talk. Let's talk about what's happening now, not exactly what might happen. So I'm not really seeing anything jumping out in the news. FOMC is the big one today. And let's look at technicals. Technicals, if you guys want to throw up any questions in the chat that you guys have about trading or any of the setup, I'll talk about that after we do technical analysis. So let's look at the technicals and then I'll go through questions in the chat. I don't want to look at it in 1 minute. Let's look at, I want to look at just let's see if I can throw up a 30-minute chart here real quick because I like to see these. I don't usually look at a 30-minute chart, but I'm just going to talk about what happened yesterday for a second. This is these are session volume profiles on the 30-minute chart. So if we look right here where I just box this in, this is the session from yesterday. And it was such an interesting, I thought session goes from 8:30. So really it's that's a bad one. That's a bad one. I'm just boxing this in for you. This right here. So it's from 8:30, the open. And it was just, I don't know. Yesterday was crazy. I mean, yesterday looked like it was going to tank. I mean, we were coming in pre-market with a ton of selling going on overnight. We actually had a little gap up, I think, on over the weekend, but it was completely negated, and we closed the gap, we filled the gap, and then we just started moving lower. And I saw all this action coming in, and I didn't read this at all. I didn't see this setup at all. And if you saw it, good for you. But I was looking to go short yesterday, and I took a couple short scalps and to be honest with you, I got lucky by not trying to hold those to new lows, just taking a scalp, because the market came down and then we just pushed off. One thing that I posted yesterday, you can see all this buying coming through. One thing I posted yesterday was a potential short setup over here on the 4-hour chart. Sorry, it was on the daily chart, actually. Look at the daily. So I just want to show what happened yesterday. Obviously, we had this impulse to the downside as the market opened, and then boom, we just shot up on the day, and we can just see it here. I mean, big recovery. It looks very bullish. Looks very bullish. But the setup that I pointed out yesterday before we had this big bullish move was this big area of support. I felt like that if this broke, we were going to break to the downside. And I saw as price was approaching here, I think I posted that around this time when price was down here, I thought, man, this thing's going to break and we're just going to collapse to the downside. But it didn't. It didn't. It came close to the support and then just rallied to the upside. Very, very bullish sign. Very bullish sign. You know, it's looking a little choppy. It's looking a little choppy. I bet a lot of shorts got taken out on this. And then price moved up. Very, very nice candle here. We closed above the 20 SMA. We did that over here too with complete failure. We did it over here, closed above the 20 SMA. We came up and hit the upper end of the band. One area that I'm seeing as resistance, if we do want to continue pushing higher, and we have moved, we've already broken yesterday's high in pre-market, so that's a very bullish sign. One area is going to be the back of this trend line that we have right here. You can see that right there. We have the upper end of the Bollinger Band closing in. This will probably come and form an area of confluence of resistance, and I would think that this area is going to be pretty big for it. Pretty big hurdle for it to have to get over, and we'll just mark that out right here, up here. You know, that's coming up into this area. That's something to be mindful of. That's not saying you want to short it up here, but I would say that if you're taking longs, that this would be a target area for you to get out, just in my opinion. So we started seeing price breaking higher today and bullish structure forming, and we wanted to take a long. This would be our target up here. I would be exiting around 12,200, which is about 180 points away. 160 points away, 170 points away. So, you know, that's one pocket that you might be able to anticipate price moving into. But as we move lower, oh, it changed to blue. That's kind of weird. As we move to lower time frames, you can kind of see what's developing, which ain't pretty. I'm finding this is interesting. Look at this. I drew this out yesterday. I'm just looking at the 4-hour chart this morning. I drew this yesterday as a resistance level, and look how price broke through it. And now look how price is using the back end of it as support. I always find those things very interesting when trading. You know, we've got this area of resistance up here. 11,870, 867. We can see it here. I'm really just zoning in here on what's happening right here at the moment. I'm not really looking at any of this. I'm just focusing on this 4-hour chart. And I'll tell you in a second why. We can see price coming up here. You know, if it busts through that, I think you've got 11,200 opened up here. So there's a pocket of full 100 points that I think we could take to the upside up to that. This blue dotted line is a 200 SMA on a 4-hour. One thing I look at is, has price been responding to that 200 SMA? We can see over here, price was responding to it, held as resistance. Over here, we kind of did, and then we started just to ignoring it. I could see price coming up, and again, this back end, but this is, you know, 120 points right there, I think we said. So there's plenty of meat within that tiny little move for people to pick up, and that would be something interesting, I think. So 11,200 would be another level. Sorry, not 200. What is this? 12,000. Sorry, guys. 12,000, which is obviously also just going to be a big psych number. So a psychological number. I heard somebody else say that yesterday, so I just copied that. Psych. Sounds like I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I think 11,000, 900 breaks, and then 12,000 in its sights. So we'll mark off that level again. And when I mark out these horizontal red lines, they show up on all my charts. So if you see something like that over here, like on the 500 volume, that's just coming from a higher time frame. Let's look at a 60-minute, an hourly chart. Man, this morning, guys, when I looked at this this chart on my phone, I tell you what, I was like, this thing's dropping. I was like, I'll show you on the 4-hour real quick. Hold on. Let me go back to the 4-hour. Oh yeah, here. I saw this thing. I was like, man, yesterday's move was just this impulse up and we're going to fade it. I was like, that's what's going to happen. I saw this candle here on the 4-hour, this candle here on the 4-hour. I was looking at this on my phone this morning. And then I saw price breaking lower and I was like, this thing's done. This thing's coming down here to the 20 SMA. And then we may start forming some sort of bullish structure. But price don't want to come down. Price don't want to come down right now. And then I looked at the 1-hour chart after seeing that. And man, this thing won't even zoom. I saw this support level right here on the 1-hour. I saw price starting to roll over and I thought this was going to break. And at the time, the 20 SMA was down here. I thought this was just going to fail and price was going to drop down into this. And then maybe we got to push back up. But I tell you what, as this thing was moving down, we actually broke this support level. We're closed below the 20 SMA on the 1-hour. Price is now pushing up. This thing is choppy waters, choppy waters. And what are we doing? We are ranging. We are ranging. And this is what it's been doing, you know, pretty consistently. This is a pretty common pattern that this thing has been doing. My typical strategy when trading is trading these breakouts and really trading the trend on breakouts. And that's just not the way, that's just not how the market's working right now. And I need to be, you know, aware of that my trade as price breaks this, I don't think it's going to have the momentum to really move up. The place that if I want to go long on it is going to be down here. Or here, perhaps, you know, take half a position here, add half here. Your stop has got to be down here, maybe below 11,700 if you're looking to go long on it. But this thing is doing quite a bit of ranging lately. So one other thing I just noticed, so we have this big area of confluence coming in here. Weekly point of control, VWAP, 20 SMA on the hourly. And that should be a big area right there. But look what price is doing. It's just chopping through it. Just chopping through that level. You know, again, I would be looking to short. I would be looking to short false breakouts. So one thing that I'd really be looking to do is not short false breakouts, fade false breakouts, meaning that as price broke below this, where it looked like we were maybe going to drop down, you know, buy it as it comes back into the range with anticipation that we're going to get this. So your stop would be relatively small, pokes through here, you put your stop at support, and then you let price hopefully ride up. I do think it's going to range. Again, we have news coming out at 9 o'clock. That may impulse it one way or the other, but I'm going to be letting some range structure build. It's already built. I mean, look at the 60 minute. You know, market's going to open in 10 seconds. But really, we want to be shortening it up here, and we want to be buying it down here. And anything in the middle is just going to be chop city shit, and you want to probably just stay out of it. So, particularly with all the news and stuff that's coming out. You know, with a little bit of news coming out at 9 o'clock this morning, but FOMC at 1 o'clock is going to be making this thing act crazy. And with employment numbers coming out tomorrow morning and NFP coming out on Friday, you know, you could be, I don't know if you want to short it because it does look like it wants to push through this level and then possibly move up. So I don't know if you want to short it up here because there may be some bullish structure. One thing you could do is wait to see if it breaks this level and how it reacts. You know, if we come over here and we look at, you know, I'm really just looking at these two red lines. So I wouldn't worry about all this price action in the middle. If price moved up through here, we came back down. What was resistance is now support, and then we broke higher. That would signal to me that we may start trending up to that next level of resistance. and to maybe hopefully try to find an entry. But you know, I would be looking to buy it somewhere down here at 11,730. You know, I don't think buying it or shorting it within this range is going to be a good idea. I think it'll just get chopped up. I think it'll just, you know, break lower, break higher, break lower, break higher, and you'll just end up going long, going short, going long, going short, and it'll be a mess. So I'm gonna let it move around a little bit. Good morning, guys. I haven't really looked at the chat yet because I'm just rambling over here looking at the charts. So if you guys have any questions about stuff, I've gotten some more questions in my posted videos about like educational stuff. And one thing I do is I try to just like build in education into the videos. It's difficult for me to come in. I don't say it's difficult. I want to be cautious of giving anyone like a strategy. There is no strategy. Anyone that says they've got some trading strategy that's going to make you rich is full of it. There is no trading strategy that's going to make you rich. What you want to do is, in my opinion, is watch markets, stock markets, figure out repeatable patterns, what's been working, what hasn't. Now we're pushing up to this level. You know, what's working, what isn't working, and then try to take advantage of those opportunities. Yeah, there are some basic elements that you need to learn. Like you need to learn some basic technical analysis. You need to learn how, you know, what a candlestick is, you know, what these candlesticks look like, how to use a multiple time frame system like we do over here. But I can't come in here and say, okay, when stochastic gets to this level and then the 20 SMA crosses the 100 SMA, and then, you know, that's going to be your entry and your stop, that stuff is only going to frustrate you because it's going to work sometimes and other times it's not going to work, and market conditions are going to change. And those simple little strategies that people push on YouTube to get you to click on their videos often will fail eventually. So what we want to do, one thing that we've been looking at is these false breakouts, which seems to be the pattern right now with Nasdaq. You know, you can see it poking through here, but again, it may want to push up higher. You know, I'm not saying it's not going to do that. I'm just cautious of false breakouts at the moment because that's what it's been giving us lately. So point of that whole thing was I try to build some educational stuff into the videos and kind of just show what I'm seeing at the moment. I could do a video. I did do a whole video on like the chart setups, and I included my chart templates in there, so you can just download these files, and I explained how you can just import them into NinjaTrader. So when you fire up NinjaTrader, your workspace looks just like this. I don't know if you want that or not, to be honest. This may look kind of messy to people. It might be overwhelming, but certainly happy to give that away to anybody who's interested in it. And if you want a link to that video, just shoot a chat message. I'll go try to dig up the link. So good morning. So let's look at yeah, thanks again, Nico, for the little tip there. I'll buy me a coffee later. I appreciate that. Burning, good morning. I think I already said good morning. Nico, Euro USD lowest price ever. Yep. Yeah, the USD is on a tear because interest rates are going up. So if you look at the DXY chart, I think it's up at like 104. If you don't know what the DXY is a dollar index. So it takes, and you can see this false breakout forming right here. It takes the price of the US dollar against multiple currencies, and it gives it a value, and the baseline value is 100. So if it's over 100, then it's really, really strong. If it's below 100, it doesn't mean it's not strong. It just means that it's gaining ground on some currencies. But if it's like upper 80s, then it means that it's weak. You know, around 100 is like its baseline. Again, it's like you can just think of 100 as like 1, you know, and plus or minus 1. So right now I think it's like at 100 and something, 103, 104, which is when I was trading Forex, it was never over 100. And this was a few years ago. So the dollar is super strong right now. Euro is weak. So you're seeing Euro USD. We can see point of control coming in down here at the support area. Tempting. It's at that area of confluence that we pointed out right here. You can see it here. You see how prices, there's some hesitation here. I think if we break this, we may want to come down here again. I'm kind of looking to buy down here, but I don't know. See if my nerves get to me. Yeah, so Euro USD is the dollar's absolutely killing against the euro. I don't know. It's an interesting time to maybe buy Euro USD because the Euro USD is going down. I mean, Euro is going to give you less USD because the dollar is getting stronger. Anyways, it's could you buy that now with the anticipation of that in 2 years? This will level out and there'll be some, eventually that the DXY is going to go back to 100 or around 100. Possibly. The problem with buying Forex is that it's highly leveraged. This looks like it's going to push down. We see how it busted through VWAP, come up, retested VWAP. Now we may get that push down. Again, this is just in the middle of the chop shit, though. I would stay out of it until we get around these red levels. Those ranging levels. What was I going to say? The problem with Forex is so highly leveraged that you can't hold on to it for a long period of time. It's for US customers it's 50-1. Now you could take a small position size on it, sure. I guess you could do that and hold it for a while, but I don't know. It kind of reminds me of when gas was at 0 and everyone was like, gas is at 0. That's like time you should buy it, hold it. Now look where gas is. Anyways, so that's the thing about the dollar. Tick Whisper is asking, what software do you use for the bear and the green screen? I use Animaze. It's called Animaze. It's part of Steam. It's a Steam package, and it's super easy to set up. I think we are going to get that push down now, down here. Super easy to set up. Animaze, A-N-I. Here, I can post it in here. It's called Animaze by Steam. Oh, Zero is reminding us to like the video. I appreciate that. If you would like the video, if you find any interest in this, any value, if you save yourself from the false breakout up here, if you would like the video, I'd appreciate it. Again, our buy area is down here. Maybe even the bottom of this band on the 1 hour. All the way down here, I anticipate perhaps this support level breaking down here. I'm looking at the hourly, you can see. This support level on the hourly breaking, coming down to 11,700-ish level, false breakout to the downside, and then we get that push back up. Again, we have news coming out at 9 o'clock. Be careful of that. PMI, did we say it was PMI? I can't remember. PMI, something's coming out at 9 o'clock. PMI. Trend line. It's Chop City here, guys. Be careful. Other news, Apex Trader came out and they are extending their 80% off sale to July 10th, I guess. I don't know. I can give you that coupon code again if anybody's interested in doing that. Let me pull it up. You get 80% off of any of their evaluations if you're interested in doing that. Where is that coupon code? I wish they would give me custom coupon code so that I could just remember this, because I cannot. Remember it. Here it comes. So I actually emailed Lilu and I was like, hey, I've got this trading community and Apex has given us 50%. Can you guys match that? And I didn't hear back from them. So they're either making a lot of money zero or they need a lot of money. And I can't tell. I'm almost thinking they need money to pay people. Because remember, these things, they pay off. They pay off traders by using money they get from evaluation signups. So I don't know. It's to me, when companies like that are reaching out trying to get more money, it's not a good sign. So I don't know. A little bit of a red flag to me, but you know what I'm saying? Like they need more people signing up. Yeah, Nico. It feels like they're desperate, but as long as they keep doing the payouts, as soon as I don't get a payout, I will let you know. But I would be taking payouts and putting that money away as cash. So in case they go belly up, you can have some cash in your bank. TradeNet scheme. I don't know what that is, Maniac. What is TradeNet? I don't know what that is. You can see it's just ranging. I mean, look at the hourly. It's just chopping in that VWAP and 20 SMA on the hourly. This is chop shit city. I would be cautious of it. Hitting the 20 SMA on the 1 minute. Looks like it's going to push back up to highs. Lots of people going long here. Lots of people going long. And oh, failed. Did it fail? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm staying out of it. I feel like this looks like it's going to push up, but I'm tempted to buy it here. I'm tempted, but I'm sitting on my hands. I'm going to follow my own advice. The worst is when I give advice on here and then I end up jumping into something for the sake of taking a trade because I feel like I need to have my P&L green. This does look like a buy though. Push back up to 850. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Listen to your own advice. Yeah, zero, you're right. So it's 80% off the first month, but then it still goes to 50% for recurring months, which is pretty good, man. I mean, pretty good. This looks like it's gonna, I mean, this thing is nasty. Again, you see, I think you'd be thinking about, I don't know. VWAP is holding. You gotta sit on your hands on this, man. This shit is nasty. Again, if you're just tuning in, thank you for watching. We did a whole pre-market thing. We looked at it. I think we've kind of identified that we're ranging up here. And so, one thing you don't want to do in a range is buy the middle of the range or sell the middle of the range. It's just not good practice. We've got a support area marked out with these double red lines down here. This is an hourly chart, by the way. We have a support area marked out. We got a couple touches here. We have a resistance area, a few touches here. And the place, what you want to do is you want to buy here and you want to sell here. Everything in the middle is going to chop you up. Now, I say that as like the rule, but at the same time, what you can do is you can look for structure to build one way. So for instance, here we have this bearish structure forming. So we have this bearish structure, lower lows, lower highs, and you can draw a little channel on it like this, right? Draw a little channel. And as the channel breaks, that could be an indication that price wants to now come the other way. But you typically would want to do that as price is hitting that resistance level, which is down here, or support level, I'm sorry. Support level, which is down here. So we would look for maybe price to break this, move down a little bit more, form that channel again, perhaps over here, and then as that broke, that would give us an indication that price is going to move higher. We can also look at cumulative delta down here and see if that starts forming bullish structure. Cumulative delta is basically time and sales data coming through as a chart, as candlestick patterns down here. So it's easier to read. If you ever tried to read time and sales, it's tough, man. Reading time and sales for me is tough. It's like a bunch of numbers coming through. I don't know why you do that when you can just read cumulative delta, but other people may have better ideas. I don't know. Is it possible to be logged into different accounts at the same time in NinjaTrader and trade them? So, yes. Yes, it is. Yes and no. It's not NinjaTrader, it's Rhythmic. So Rhythmic is a data connection, and you can only have one Rhythmic connection open on your machine at a time. Now, what you can do is if you want to have multiple accounts open is you would need to get like a continuum account, a continuum data feed or account that uses continuum, or what's the other one? I can't remember the other one. CQG. And so if you had an account like NinjaTrader Brokerage, I've got a NinjaTrader Brokerage account that uses Continuum, so I can have Continuum open, and then I can also have Rhythmic open. So it allows me to have Apex open and NinjaTrader Brokerage open at the same time. But you couldn't have Lilu and Apex Trader open at the same time because they both use Rhythmic. So I hope that makes sense. Now, Apex Trader, you have one. You can do multiple accounts with Apex Trader because they give you one Rhythmic connection with multiple accounts. So if you did Apex Trader and you did their, I think they allow you up to 10 accounts, you can do that because it's one actual Rhythmic ID on your machine. We can see here we're forming this down channel now on the 1 minute chart since we've been open. One way you could trade this is that, you know, as this channel here broke, I think it does have room down to 31. As this broke to the upside, this trend line breaks, that would be your signal. Big area of resistance here at 11,800. Be your signal that we may be moving up, but you would be getting in at a pretty bad price because you'd be getting in right in the middle of the range. So something to keep in mind. Keep it and keep an eye on. Not an eye on. Mindful of. Thank you. Mindful of. So again, we've got news coming out at 9. She's just kind of sitting on her hands. This is the range chop shit. I mean, this looked like it was going to push up right here. We broke, you know, looked like it was coming down. Then we broke up, broke VWAP. A lot of volume it looked like coming through. And what happened? We just failed to new lows. So again, this is really choppy, guys. I would not be trading this if you don't have to. We can see here, we have this trend line here. Price has now come to that trend line. Maybe VWAP is a short, you know, with a stop right there at 10. Sometimes you can take trades just on how tight your stop, like how good your stop is. You know, if you see a really clear stop loss, then maybe you want to take that trade. If it's like a 1-to-5 profit loss ratio, risk reward ratio, meaning that if I shorted it at 11,800 and my stop was going to be at 11,810, so a 10-point stop, but my take profit was going to be down here at 11,750. That means a 50-point profit for a 10-point loss, you know, a 1-to-5. Sometimes it's just good to take that, you know, sometimes it's just good to take that trade. And if you get stopped out for 10 points, you know, you only have to be right 1 out of 3 times to become profitable. But that's not really how I trade, so. But that's how some people trade, and some people are better at that than I am. Thing that I've always got to be mindful of is how I react to losses, and I react really negatively when I take a loss. It throws me into a revenge trading mindset, which is really bad. If you don't know what revenge trading is when you take a loss, you lose $500. And you decide on the next trade you're going to make it all back, and then you'll be good. All you got to do is make that back, and then you'll be good. And so you take another trade, and it's not a very good trade because you feel like you're just revenge trading. You're just trying to make money, and so you take another loss, and now you're down 1,000. And then you decide you're going to take another trade, but this time you're going to double your size because you need to make it all back. And then you lose that trade, and you're down 2,000 now. And it's just, that's how you blow up accounts. So I see here a possible, you know, what coming into some resistance. If we broke through VWAP, would we move back up? I don't know. We have this news coming out at 9 o'clock. So best thing to do here is sit on our hands, but we can just see here on the technicals, you know, we're in this down channel. It looks like we're ranging. If perhaps we break VWAP, we break above 11,800, it could move back up. However, if we get a rejection of this level and a bearish candle here, it could indicate that we want to move back down lower. So this pretty key area right here. But again, we have news coming out at 9 o'clock. News is going to blow past any sort of technical analysis that you do. It's going to roll here, roll down some more, maybe down to 11,000. It may start rolling down to this support level. Coming into this trend line, would not be buying it. I think it's going to come down again. What news? If you come to let me see here. If you come over to one of these economic calendars, I just use this one, FX Street economic calendar. I used to trade Forex like years ago, and I've just always used this. But if you come over here, you click on filter, hit clear all, choose United States, because it'll give you all the countries. Choose United States, and come down here to medium and high. Or you could just do high, but I also do medium just because I like to see what the medium impact results are. Hit apply filter. It'll give you an economic calendar for the week. You may have to adjust your time over here to choose this week, but it'll give you an economic calendar. And then look over here on the impact. And anything that's red is going to be a market mover. A full red bar is going to be a market mover, or at least market's going to impulse around that, meaning that the market may not trend because of those news, but market's going to probably impulse. Medium too might be impulsy. But the big ones are going to be employment numbers. So we've got ADP employment change, NFP, which comes out the first Friday of every month, is always going to be a big market mover. You always need to know when NFP is coming out. That's going to be huge. NFP, everybody trades NFP, and you just need to really be conscious of NFP. FOMC is also big. That's today. So yeah, I mean, you know, we usually go over whatever's going to come out that's going to be big. FOMC, NFP, jobless stuff, job stuff, GDP to some extent, I guess. You know, I don't know. What do you guys think? Anybody else can think of anything off the top of their head that are big market movers? You can see here, range, and it looks like we were going to push down, and what happened? It looked like we were going to get that break and then push down. Now we're out through this trend line. You would be stopped out at this point. We have a low volume node coming in over here on the session volume profile. The top band here, big area of resistance right here coming into. Even though we're out of this trend line, which would suggest that price would want to maybe come back, retest, and then move up, we do have resistance here. You know what that means? It means there is no trade at all and to not do anything. And some days are like that. Some days are like that. Speaking of likes, if you wouldn't mind liking this video, I'd really appreciate it. I'm sorry I was bugging you guys about liking the video. It's completely free. It just takes a click. It helps out the YouTube algorithm to maybe put this in front of other people who are interested in this trading sort of thing. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. Our community is small enough that, you know, it's a nice size. We've had about 100 traders in here before, and I think that's the sweet spot, around 100, because people can ask questions and they get them answered quickly. It doesn't get lost in the chat. If you look at some of these other live streamers, the chat is just flying and everything gets lost in the chat. But I feel like on this one, we've got a small enough group that Either I can answer questions from my experience or other people can chime in and answer from their experience, because lots of times people here are also really experienced traders and can call out levels and have great days as well. Marty, who I just saw in the chat, good morning, Marty, made three grand last week, wasn't it, Marty? Which is awesome. Vernon just got 45 points short. Nice, Vernon. Did you short? Hey, Vernon, did you short it up here at this resistance level, or did you catch it on the breakdown as it broke down? A breakdown. See here, it pushed off. I mean, there was a couple. This is probably a pretty good entry if you could have gotten it out there on this candle, this bearish candle there on the 500 volume. So I don't know. Nice work on that 45. Morning, Marty. 5K last week. That's awesome. CPI next Wednesday. Yeah, Tyson, you're right. Nice, Vernon. Yeah, I think any inflation news, anything that has to do with inflation is going to be a big mover. Inflation is in the news right now, right? You can see here our price is breaking out of this trend line up here now. This looks like a buy again, but I don't know if I want to buy it. Yeah, PD Legend, you're not alone, man. Thanks, Nico. We're going to let this news come out in 3 minutes and see what the market wants to do with it. I'm going to get some coffee while this thing back at 9 a.m. Central. I'm going to go grab some coffee and wait for the news to come out. All right, guys, we're back. Oh, what happened here? Nothing. Up. Oh yeah, he just stares at you when I leave. I forgot. I've offered to turn that off. People like it. They don't know if they like it, but they've asked to just leave it on. It's kind of weird. He just stares at you, just judging you, your bad trades that you made. So we're still ranging in here. I don't know if we're gonna get a break one way or the other. So I would probably still be looking to fade it if it moved up here, or buy it if it moved down here. I mean, I think the trade plan is still where it is. I don't know. I'm in the Midwest, Marty. I'm in Missouri. Look at point of control just came in right there. I wonder if those are buyers. It's just so choppy. I mean, I think as price moved down to here, these are probably buyers coming in, and it may get an impulse up. It may break lower. I don't know. Very difficult. Yeah, zero. Another choppy day. You live in Baltimore. I lived in Washington, D.C. for a couple years, and went to Baltimore a few times. I like Baltimore. Mm. If you don't know, Baltimore is very close to Washington, D.C. I think it's only like an hour away. Not even that, maybe. But you can take, well, when I lived there, one of the lines, I think, on the metro, I think one of them went to Baltimore. Maybe not, actually. I think you had to take a bus. I think you took the metro to somewhere and then you took a bus. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. I'm watching this thing. I'd be careful. If right now you would just be guessing. It's gonna move one way or the other up to that range, one of those ranges, up to the top of the range up here, or bottom down here. And right now you would just be guessing. Maybe lower. We can see Delta dropping lower. Maybe lower. All right, man. All right, Marty. Sounds good. Let me see here. So, kind of mixed on the news, I guess you could say. I don't know. Green and red. I guess you're just kind of waiting to see what price wants to do with it. It could just chop around till FOMC. Could just chop around to FOMC. The SMA, are you using a 20 SMA? Zero? Yeah, I think you're right, SW. I think you're right. I think price is probably going to move a little slow till FOMC. And I don't think I would have traded this thing any differently on the open. Taking that short up here resistance, possibly, but to be fair, if you look at the 4-hour, it had a chance to roll right here and it didn't roll. And for me, if it didn't do something that it had an opportunity to do after a solid move up, that's bullish. And this looks bullish to me. That's a bullish candle. So really, I would just be looking to buy it down here. I don't want to do anything in this chop. And I'm not, it may break up to 11,900. It may break higher a little bit. And I don't particularly want to fade it because I think it is a little bullish looking. And so I don't particularly want to short it. I don't particularly want to buy it up here. I want to buy it down here. Yeah, that's where I want to buy it. And now we can see the band on the 1 hour pinching in a little bit here at 11,750. So we've got a few areas of support down here, which makes it a little trickier. Well, hey, what's up, Goran? Goran, do we have a long position on that? No, I don't have any position on the Nasdaq right now. I do have some. Yeah, I'm flat. If you look at my P&L, you can see it over there. If I was in a position, you'd see it. You'd see it ticking around. The power hour. I've never heard of the power hour. Somebody else may have. Anybody here have heard power hour? So now we're pushing higher here. Now we're up through that. You want to fade it? I don't particularly want to fade it, to be honest with you. Very bullish candle there forming on the 1 hour, but it's only 9:08. It's got 52 minutes to go. If you want to know which candles I'm looking at, you can look here at this tab or what chart I'm looking at. See up here the names, and then some have multiple charts on these tabs. So you can just look down here. So this is 60-minute, 4 hour, NQ 500 volume. If you want to know which one, and my eyes bounce between them. So right now I'm looking at this 1 hour, how we're pushing higher, pushing higher. Is this thing gonna fade again? So Whisper, do you trade with the tick? I've noticed a 3 SMA on the 2-minute tick provides a nice view of the trend. Plus crosses over 0 can be a good signal for entry or exit, depending on context, of course. I've got a tick chart, a 500 tick chart. I guess you're asking about tick charts. This is a 500 tick chart. I like the 500 volume a little bit more as like my entry chart. I just find trends on here, trend lines are a little bit more reliable. I don't use a 3 SMA. No, I just use the 20 period Bollinger Band, which is the middle band is a 20 SMA. And then if you see a blue dotted line, that's a 200 SMA. And I use mostly 200 SMA on the higher time frame charts, just to have up there. I don't actively really use it. And the Bollinger Bands I use just as kind of entry exit periods. We can see here how like on the 1 hour we pin through the upper band here. I use them just as support and resistance levels. That to me is like a bearish sign. If I saw this 1 hour close, pin through the Bollinger, it seems like momentum faded and take a short out of it. This looks kind of like a short. Again, there's a low volume node right here. I'm just going to take a scalp to get some green on the day, get that over with. Moving lower here though. I miss kind of how we traded yesterday. Just taking those scalps because it was chopping so much, just taking those little trades. Again, coming down off that range. See Delta moving up here. Is this a possible short again? I don't know. 20 SMA down there at 25. I don't know. Just scalping it, guys. Just scalping it. Nothing to brag about here. Tough. I mean, it's tough. I don't know. This actually looks like a nice short, you know, coming off resistance, bearish candle. You know, the short structure would form, pop down into here. I'm not quite sure why I'm not taking it, but we're hitting the 20 SMA here on the 1 minute, 28. Well, we missed that one. Yeah. Yeah, 0. But, you know, this resistance up here is holding. It probably has room down here to 76, maybe. It's got some touches down here. We can see it has had some support down here. So, I don't know. I don't know. Where's everybody at today? Where's everybody at in the chart? I should have taken that short. Mother effer. Where's everybody from today? So we got some Baltimore in the house. Goran, where are you from? Am I saying your name? Goran? Goran? Where are you from, man? I always like seeing where people are from. Give your location a shout out here. Chicago, yep, SW Blake, Chicago. Tampa, Cali, love it. We're pushing back up. This is definitely a range day, guys. Be careful with it. We're not actually even coming down close to this big support area. Dubai, 0. It's awesome. I was in Dubai in 2000. What year was that? 2008? 2008 I was in Dubai. New Orleans, Vernon, cool. I was in Dubai. I think I've told this story. I was in Dubai and they lost. I was only there for 2 days for work, and this is when I was doing like international development stuff. There for 2 days for work, and they lost one of my suitcases. And it was the suitcase that had all my clothes. The other suitcase had like just work documents. I remember we had these big binders. It had all the work documents in it. But the one that had all my clothes, they lost. But because one of my suitcases got there, they wouldn't give me any money, any reimbursement for my other suitcase that didn't make it. So, Sweden, what's up, man? Fritta, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. I hope you're getting some value out of this. You can see point of control popping right there. I wonder if we're going to move up above VWAP now and going to move up. In true classic ranging, I mean, we're just ranging all day. I might just take my $200 and let FOMC come out. let FOMC come out at 1 and maybe look at it later, but I don't know. Again, guys, FOMC is coming out at 1 o'clock today, Central Time. You do not need to be trading. You left and the economy crashed? I don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes if I'm on, I've got multiple monitors. If I try to open up another window, what happens is all my windows go blue and then the other one opens up. So for instance, if I try to open up, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain how that works, but if I hover on my Windows bar here and then I choose another window, everything goes blue. I don't know why it does that, but I can do it again. I'm in 2008. Oh, in the US. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, guys, I'm sorry. I'm yawning here. Yeah, 2008. I was just there for a couple of days. And I wish I knew how to trade in 2008. Sometimes I look at a chart and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have gotten in more on that. Actually, I didn't get in at all in 2008 on the crash. I keep reminding myself of that now. Like, as markets are falling, like, you know, they're going to go back up. You're going to look at a chart and Nasdaq is going to be at 25,000. And you're going to be like, why was I freaking out so much when it was down at 12,000? You know? So I did buy some stuff. I've dipped my toes into the market. Bought some. I'm not gonna tell you what I bought, 'cause I don't want you to go out and buy it and lose money. That's not what this channel is about. But I dipped my toes in a few stocks, and I'd go in a little heavier as time goes on here over the summer. You 10 still playing? Maybe I saw you in Dubai. Were you in Dubai in 2008, Zero? I was going to say before, it looks like we're just doing classic, you know, down, up, just boom, 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 boom. Nice. Maybe we ran into each other. I don't know, guys. Anybody trading this thing? We're not quite coming down to my buy zone that I wanted down here. It's doing kind of a similar thing that it did a little bit ago. Let me pull a pen. $50 out. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of what it did before. We came up, we hit the resistance, we came down, some consolidation around VWAP popped up and then broke new lows. Very similar thing right here. Came down, consolidation around VWAP, pop up, and then it may break new lows. So just, you know, again, want to be, you know, I talk about it before that, you know, trading this thing is like robbing a house, that you want to stock it, see what it's been doing and find repeatable patterns and try to take advantage of those repeatable patterns with good risk management. That's it. So I hope you guys are trading this thing well, being cautious of it. It just doesn't look like a great day to trade. FOMC days are kind of like that, but you know, we're up a couple $100. And Nico bought me a coffee, which thank you. He's the first one to ever use the, I don't know what this is even called, the show your support tip button thing, money dollar sign. So I appreciate that. Thank you. If you didn't make any money, maybe you saved yourself some frustration with getting chopped around in this ranging market we have today. And that FOMC is coming out at 1 o'clock, so it'll probably continue. I am going to live stream tomorrow morning, so maybe we get a little bit clearer. The one thing I'll say about tomorrow is we've got those ADP numbers coming out tomorrow morning at 7:30, and oftentimes people use those as precursors to NFP, which comes out on Friday, which will be a huge market mover. I think. NFP coming on Friday. So we may get a little bit clearer clear preview of what the Nasdaq wants to do after ADP comes out tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. If those are good numbers, we may see markets move up. If they're bad, we may see them move down, which would give people an idea of what NFP is going to be like on Friday. So we'll be looking at those tomorrow morning, Thursday. So I will be live streaming again tomorrow morning. If you guys want to join in again. So I think this is a pretty good size. I think I like capping the live stream at like 100 again. You don't want it to be too big because you want the chat people to be able to read the chat and answer questions and do different things. I don't know what other things you would do, but want to be able to answer questions and not have the chat just flying through like ticker tape. I have no idea what YouTube gets anything. I'd probably get 80 cents or something of the dollar, I would think. Seeing a possible area of support or resistance right here. Price broke higher. Maybe you get this pop back up into this zone, but I'd be careful of it. I don't know, guys. Do you think we can get 40 likes on this thing? 7 more likes? If you haven't liked it, I'd appreciate you liking it. I always have people who are like, whenever I ask for likes, they're like, oh, you asked for a like? I'm going to dislike it. Which is just, I don't know. It's kind of, it's not funny, but I always think of the people that are disliking videos, like listening to a live stream and just being like angry and disliking it. Ow, disliking it. Apex uses a trailing drawdown. What is the name of that volume indicator on your chart? Are you talking about this blue thing here on the side chart? Thanks, CG. I appreciate it, man. Where's my pen? This thing? You're talking about this? That's a volume profile. So the volume profile will give you, will show you the volume of trading volume at each price. So we can see the prices over here, and then the volume profile is going to show us how much volume of trading was done at those prices. And we've got the value area right here, which is where 68% of volume has come in during this session. This is a session volume profile. And then up here, we have the outlying regions of the low volume areas where the remaining trading volumes come in. So 68% here, and then the remaining volume out here. What we can do is oftentimes look at low volume nodes, which is something like this. You see how it's a low volume node? Those are areas where there's not a lot of interest in price, and those can be areas of support and resistance. So I like to use the volume profile. If we begin in several different ways. One is we can clearly see a range forming on the session between the in the value area where most of the trading has occurred. These are kind of the accepted prices of the day. We have a high volume node here, then we have lower volume nodes on the upper and lower end. And those are areas where there just hasn't been a lot of interest. So in a ranging day like today, we can see that this can act as support and resistance zones. Now, what you can do on a trending day is if price began, let's just say news came out and price began to rip higher. We broke highs. We would get this volume profile forming up here as price began to make new highs. And what you can do is, if I can get this to work, maybe just like this, as price broke higher, you would see volume begin to come in up here like that. And we can use these lower volume nodes as price broke higher. Those lower volume nodes would oftentimes form as support. So if price broke higher and we pull back to an LVN, I would be looking to buy that LVN with the anticipation of price breaking higher. So I use a volume profile in a few different ways, depending on what setup is forming. So right here is a ranging day. We could use it as the low and the high of the range for the session. Now the weekly, also down here on the weekly chart, I have a weekly volume profile, which has been generating since Sunday evening. And this comes into play as the market, as the week goes on, and the market begins to form more structure over the whole week, where we can then see low volume nodes. Like right here, we have a low volume node, and we can see how that acted as support. And also the point of control comes in. Up here, the point of control is the price where we've had the most volume during the week. And this just shows us sometimes, I don't really use it as support and resistance, but it'll show us if we get point of control coming in near a value area, like the value area is right, the value area high is right here, point of control coming in here, that may signal that price wants to push away from that in the opposite direction. So like for instance, we see from last week's volume profile, which you can see right here, if we just look at last week to use an example, a big low volume node coming in here acting as resistance. We could not get into that low volume node. A higher volume node here, point of control coming up right in the middle, really, actually. So that's not really a good example of how we can use point of control, but you can see how the low volume area acted as support and resistance. One other thing I'll just point out is when, I wish I had it on here. So let's just look at, if we could look at this chart, for example. This is even coming through clearly. I don't know. There's so much stuff going on this. If you can cut through all this garbage and see the low volume note, low value area here, point of control here, and value area high here. If price was ranging in here, I kind of like it is, and then I saw point of control, let's say coming down here near the value area low, I would suspect that price would then want to move away from it. And it's just another tool in the toolbox that you can use when trading. If you like that explanation, give this video a like. Please, I'd like to get up to 40. I don't know if that answered your question. I hope it did. Thanks, Zero. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. I'm about ready to jump off of this thing too. This thing is just going to drag on until FOMC at 1 o'clock. So I'll be back tomorrow, guys. If you don't need to trade this, I would probably just sit on your hands. FOMC is coming out at 1. Very difficult to trade. I would just be trading. If you are going to trade, I would be trading support and resistance, shorting resistance, buying at support. That is going to be the way to trade this today. I would not be looking to trade breakouts. So we've got a clear resistance area up here that you could short and a clear buy area down here that you could buy. And good luck. Good luck trading the rest of the day. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please come, please see us tomorrow. We'll be coming back on at 8:10 a.m. Central Time. Again, there's going to be FOMC coming out at 1 o'clock today. And ADP numbers are coming out at 7:30 tomorrow. So we should get a clearer direction of where market wants to go. And hopefully we can get a better idea. But, trading range markets isn't a bad way to profit either. Kind of trading boring, slow ranging markets can be highly profitable. So best of luck if you're going to keep trading today. And hopefully I will see you back tomorrow. Don't forget to give this thing a like. I appreciate it. Thanks. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.